So welcome to our Team Dare to Dream Determination Nation team call tonight. Our topic is Convos 101. And we've been doing a lot of focus in our Sprint to Diamond group about CCQ, which means comment, conversation, and question. So it's really all about the conversation. And that's how you get things started. That's how you get the party started, right? Is a conversation. And I think a lot of times coaches, when we talk about inviting, they immediately think they have to go right into inviting the person they're talking to join the challenge group or to buy something. And we're not salespeople. So we rarely are going to start off with a buy conversation. So I wanted to give you just some tips on how to start a conversation, because one of the things that you should be doing on your daily activity tracker, I was looking for one, that you're using, whether it's a business activity tracker or it's the one we've been using in the Epic 2016, or however you're keeping track of your daily activities, one of those things is to start conversations. So what you want to do is, let's see, your goal should be to have at least 5 conversations a day, 5 new conversations. And if you have 5 new conversations a day, you're going to have 35 new conversations a week. Now, if you did that every day, every week, think about the relationships that you would build. Think about all the people that you're able to start developing relationships with. And if you bump that up to 10 new combos a day, then you're looking at 70 new combos a week, which is crazy. I mean, and you may think, here's the thing, you're not going to be talking about Beachbody. Your conversation is not about Beachbody. It may go there as a progression, but you want to make sure that it's not just about Beachbody. So because this is not your invite. The conversation may turn into an invite, right? But we're just talking right now about starting conversations. And this is really important. And I know for me, it was very eye-opening because, as you may have heard me say before, I am a raging introvert. And conversation is not my strong point. I'm also a rhino personality. If you listen to Josh Coates' call, or a red, if you've done some of the color code things, I'm a straight to the point. Let's get it done. Let's get in. Let's get out. Boom. I'm not a small talk person. Small talk. I'm not a chit chatter. At least I'm not by nature. But just because you're not something by nature doesn't mean you can't develop that as a skill. And I feel like that's what I've been able to do as a Beachbody coach. And I mean, all through my corporate life and my school life and all parts of my life, it's something that I've always needed to learn how to do. It's something that I've always been told that I'm not very good at, or that I do need to develop that skill. But for some reason, as a Beachbody coach, it just really became something I really wanted to do. And if you're going to change, it's something that you have to really want to do. And I wanted to do it because I knew that it was a key part of me building my business. So there's the selfish side of it. But what came out of it is that it's really helped me become, I think, a better citizen of the world, if that makes any sense. Because I've become more interested in other people. And so that's one thing you want to make sure that, write this down. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And that's something that you really need to take to heart as a Beachbody coach, because you might hear this word vomit. And I know I used to do this. Somebody would say, well, I'd invite them to be in my challenge group and tell me more. They would say, yeah, tell me all about it. And I would tell them all about it. I would word vomit all over them and tell them all, this big long paragraph of all this stuff about Shakeology and that's not what you do. First, you have to show them that you're interested in them. Oh, that's awesome. I would love to tell you all about that. Can you tell me more about your goals? Because that will help me give you the best information. Throw it back at them. So again, conversating is something that I had to develop a skill in. And I do it, I think, pretty well in a written format. I have to tell you that doing it face-to-face still makes me super, I won't say super nervous. It's still something I have to psych myself up for. I'm just being honest. So I'm saying that because I'm going on a cruise next week, and I will want to strengthen relationships, and I want to get into that mode of being interested in others and making conversation. That's not something that comes naturally to me, so I have to work on it. But let's talk about it now, how you guys can do it, particularly with your social media. So I already talked about the what. You want to have 5 to 10 new combos a day, leading up to 35 to 70 a week. Let's just focus on the 5, because 35 to 70 sounds like a lot. So just keep your eye on the prize. 5 to 10 new combos a day. It's not as hard as it sounds. And I definitely encourage you to keep track of this, right? Keep track. Like, have a tick list, or, have a notebook, and every day, or on your calendar, your day planner, whatever you're using, you can just write those names down, right? And say, okay, these are the people I talk to. The why is you want to build relationships. Beachbody is a relationship business. Weight loss, health is very personal. It's very personal. You have to be a person to the people you're talking to, and not a salesperson, right? You want to be a real person. Building these relationships helps you be a better citizen of the world, and I really think it enhances your life. It helps just grow you in your empathy and your compassion and your curiosity about others. So here's my 10 tips. Number 1, this is a technique. When somebody likes or comments on your posts, that's a great time to start a conversation. And I started doing that because as you start building your friends list, and you should be adding, right, 5 new friends a day, something like that, or more. So again, that's 35 new friends a week or more. Your list gets really long. You're like, well, who do I start these conversations with? And I've got all these people, I don't really know them very well. They're friends of friends of friends, and I don't know where to start. That was where I was at. And what I found was, I would, if I would post something, and if it was particularly viral, like I posted a post today and I asked people, what does bi-weekly mean? Does it mean 2 times a week or every other week? Well, I have a ton of people commenting on that. So that's kind of a viral post. It's nothing to do with fitness or health or anything. It's just a random question. But that's as good a place as any to start. So I can just, look at who liked that post as well as who commented, and I can go to their Facebook page, and I can use these conversating techniques that I'm going to teach you. So in my opinion, that's as good a way as any to figure out who should I start these conversations with. And new conversations don't necessarily mean they're happening with new people. I mean, if you start today as your day 1, then every conversation you have is a new conversation tomorrow, right? And then the next day, you're going to have new conversations with 5 to 10 different people. So you're not just talking to the same people every day. We don't want you to get in your comfort zone and just say, okay, I like these people, I'm comfortable talking to them. You're going to get to the point where you've already started conversations with all the people you're comfortable with, and that's when the challenge really begins. How do I start talking to people I don't know very well, or that I feel a little awkward with? And that's what these tips come into play. The second thing is you need to adjust your mindset. So you're going to start your conversations expecting nothing in return. Now, I'll be honest, if you're like me, I had to force myself to start doing this activity, and my, ulterior motive, if you was to build my business, right? But when I adjust my mindset, I'm going to start 5 to 10 new conversations, and I have no ulterior motive in mind. I don't know where the conversation is going to go. I expect nothing in return. That's the mindset. I expect nothing in return from this conversation except to make a friend or strengthen a relationship. That's your sole motive, is to make a friend or strengthen a relationship. That's the hat that you're going to put on. You're taking off your Beachbody coach hat. You're taking off your challenge group leader hat, your coach recruiting hat. You're just going to be a friend or be somebody that can help somebody else. Okay, here's what you can do. And I encourage you to actually, if you say I'm going to start 5 new convos tomorrow or 10, then try each one of these out and just try different techniques out with each one of the people. So, number 3 tip, encourage based on their status. So like I said, you go to somebody's Facebook page, you take a look at what's going on in their life, and you see a status update that they made. Send them a private message. This is a private message, not a Facebook comment, about something they posted. Maybe they posted about, like with me, with my mom being sick. I have people message me and encourage me. They, say, we're praying for you. I worked with your mom. She's super strong. People send me messages like that with only the motive of trying to, build a relationship, help me feel better. They're just being good citizens of the world. Somebody's having trouble with their kids, like, oh, my teenagers are driving me crazy. Send them a Facebook, oh yeah, oh man, I saw your post and I just had to laugh because I've been there, done that, and let me assure you that it gets better. Just stuff like that. Encourage based upon their status. So that lets them know that you're tuning into what they're doing, right? Number 4, think of others. What this means is tell someone you're thinking about them. Here's a fun way to do that. Go to buzzfeed.com. Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, feed, F-E-E-D, buzzfeed.com. It's got the most random, crazy stuff. There are articles, videos, all kinds of things. Pick an article or a video. Just scroll through that page and send it to the first person that you think about when you see that video or that article. It could just be really crazy. I mean, how funny is it, or how cool is it for someone or for you to get a funny video from somebody saying, I saw this today and it made me think of you. It reminded me of that time when we did this. Or, it made me think of you because blah, blah, blah. Just a little, it could be something funny. It could be something helpful. Just tell them you're thinking about them. Number 5, tell the truth. What does that mean? Tell someone something you've never told them. This is a really great way to maybe start some conversations with some people that maybe you feel a little awkward with or a little bashful about talking to, particularly those old high school mates. I know for me that was a big issue because I didn't, high school wasn't my favorite part of my life, and I just felt really awkward about talking to people from high school. I'm like, I don't know if they even like me, if they want to hear from me. This is a great way. Tell them you're thinking about them. Like, send something like this. In high school, I was so in awe of you. I always figured you would be so successful, and now I see that you are. I love seeing that that you've achieved so much in life, and I love seeing your beautiful family. I'm so happy for you. Can you imagine getting a message like that? Tell somebody something you've never said. I've always, even just a message, I've always loved your hair. I never told you this in high school or in college or when we worked together, but I always loved the way you always came to work so put together and dressed so nice. And I have to tell you that today with what I'm doing, that inspires me to whatever. Tell somebody something you've never told them. And it kind of goes to the whole thing about, think about how many times when you're at work or out and about and you see somebody's shoes and you think, oh, I love those shoes. Well, tell them. If you're at the Quick Trip or the convenience store and you saw somebody that had these really cool tennis shoes on and you think, oh, I think those are so cool. How would it make them feel if you said, I love those tennis shoes. I absolutely am a freak about tennis shoes, and those are the bomb. That would make them feel so good, and it makes you feel good. Well, this is the same thing. Only you're doing it in a private message, maybe you know the person, maybe they're not a complete stranger. So tell the truth. I never told you this, but I think you're awesome. And mean it. You have to mean it, though. You have to mean it. You have to be sincere. Number 6. Be helpful. So again, based upon someone's status, you saw they showed up in your news feed, or they're one of the people that you went to their page and started deliberately kind of looking around, send them an article or a link. Maybe somebody posted about, gosh, I'm just so overwhelmed with all these things I've got going on, and I just don't know how I'm going to get everything done, and blah, 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 blah. How about this? Hey, Jen, I saw their post about totally needing more time in the day, and I have found the 30-day push to be really helpful for me in helping me organize my priorities and my time. Here's the link. Check it out. It's free. You've just added value to this person. You've given them something that's helpful. Maybe you saw somebody post about, gosh, I'm so tired of, feeling like a short order cook. My kids want this, my husband wants that, and da-da-da-da-da. Maybe you send them a link to some tips on family-friendly eating or something like that. And that could actually lead into a conversation about the 21-day fix and stuff like that. But again, there's a lot of things you can be helpful for. Look for ways to add value to people. Look for ways. Maybe you have to go and Google it. Maybe you saw this person. Maybe that's somebody that you really think would make a great coach. Or, you've really been talking to this person a lot about, their weight loss journey, but they're just not quite ready to move along. Maybe you see them post about something and you go and look for it and you say, oh, this would really help them with that situation. They're talking about trying to crate train their dog, right? Send them that link. I saw you and I found this, and I was hoping this might be helpful. Number 7, kind of touched on this before, but compliment somebody and mean it. So again, I gave the example of a new haircut. Hey, I love that new haircut that you posted. I've been trying to figure out if I should go short or keep the long. How did you decide? So again, listen, I ended with a question, right? And that's another kind of bonus tip. Anytime you can end with a question, that leaves that door open for a reply. So it's kind of like you've maybe heard, don't just ask a yes or no question, because then that lists yes or no, and the end of the conversation's over. Open-ended questions are really great, no matter if you're doing conversations or if you're actually in the inviting process. You want to have open-ended questions. And that's it. We can talk about that on another call about how we do questions with our invites. And as we're asking people, tell us more about what you want, what your journey is, what your goals are, we ask those open-ended questions. But when you compliment somebody, mean it. So, again, maybe you saw somebody's awesome shoes on Facebook, or maybe you just every time you see this person's post, they're just you love all their fashion sense. Tell them that. Say, I love your fashion sense. Where do you shop? Stuff like that. Number 8 is ask and listen. And this is really just about being a friend. So if you're staying in, if you're looking at what people are posting, again, it has to be intentional, because remember this, if you don't know this already, let me tell you, you do not see the half of what your friends are posting. And your friends do not see the half of what you're posting. Facebook determines who sees what. And it determines that based upon your interaction on Facebook. So for instance, for myself, I see a lot of your guys' posts because I'm interacting a lot with you guys, and you're interacting a lot with me. You're liking my stuff. I'm liking your stuff. We're commenting on each other's stuff. And sometimes I'll just randomly think about something like, gosh, I haven't seen one of their, and I'll go to their page. Well, they're posting all day, every day. They're doing posts off the wazoo. But I'm not seeing any of it because we aren't interacting. So that's why this whole conversation piece is so important. So ask and listen and be a friend. Maybe you see a post and maybe you just kind of get a feel for something on their page that maybe they're going through something. Be a friend, send them a message. And again, most of this is done through private message. Now, some of this you could do a comment, if it was somebody's great, shoes, and you said, you commented on their status and said, I just love your fashion sense. Where do you shop, or where do you get all your fun shoes, or something like that? That could be fine. But most of this you do want to do in a private message. ask them, is there something I can help you with? Gosh, I'm really sorry for what you're going through right now. Is there anything I can help you with? And then you just listen. And you will be, I guarantee it, very surprised what people share with you. Very, very surprised. It's just like when I ask people, what fitness goals do you have? Some people are going to say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Other people are going to send you back a paragraph of their inner struggle. And that's their relationship. So is there something, I'm sorry for what you're going through right now. Is there something I can help you with? I'm here for you. Okay. Number 9 is gratitude. There's always room for gratitude, right? Tell people you appreciate them. How do you feel? I mean, I know all of you have probably gotten a message like this. Well, even not a message, like when I post something on my Facebook wall and people comment, thank you, I needed this today. That's just like a warm fuzzy for me. Warm fuzzy, warm fuzzy. You could just see these little warm fuzzies popping up over my head like a little dialogue box. It just makes me feel so good. And then when somebody takes the time to send me a message that says, you posted that XYZ post today, and that just really made me realize this. And thank you for what you do. I've never bought anything from you, but thank you for what you do. Again, warm fuzzy, because this is about helping people. And that's most likely why, every time I ask a new coach, why did you become a coach? What do you want to do? I want to help people. And that's what's so beautiful about this business is we all come from a place from wanting to help, right? The numbers are great. It's like Josh Coates talked about. There's the numbers and there's the mission, and they are not mutually exclusive. We have a mission that we want to help people, but we also have the numbers. We want to build a business and have a different lifestyle, have a lifestyle of freedom. They're not mutually exclusive, right? So tell people that you appreciate them. I saw your post this morning, and I just wanted to tell you how much I love your outlook on life. It always makes my day when I see you show up in my newsfeed. Something like that. Or even if it's just a friend, maybe it's somebody that, in your personal life, and you see them and you're like, oh, you're reminded of how much you appreciate them. Send them a message. An old high school friend maybe that you haven't talked to for a while, but that you were really good friends with. Send a message. Hey, your name popped up in my newsfeed today, and I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate your friendship. I know we don't see each other very much, but I still count you as a really, really close friend. Gosh, people are just you're going to make people's day when you do stuff like this. Number 10, always leave a convo with an open door. And this is, again, I already talked about this, but leaving it with an open door. So, these are conversation starters. So any of these things that I just told you is, sometimes they're going to lead, into a long string of conversations. Sometimes, it might just be a short interchange, but always leave the door open. And this applies to your invites as well. If somebody tells you something like that tells you no, or tells you not now, or I love what you're doing, but I just, I can't do that right now, or I wish I could do what you do, but I just don't have it in me. I mean, you have that conversation, but always leave the door open. I just, had some people, I was doing some follow-ups today, and, I got some, no, not right now, money, don't have the money right now, or I've decided to do something else, and I don't, I could look at that and say, okay, I'm just going to move on. They just told me no, I'm going to move on. But I always take the time to reply back. It's kind of like wanting to have the last word, but in a good way. I reply back and say, totally understand your situation right now. Good luck, and I will be rooting for you. Or, good luck, even just good luck. Or I'm so glad that you've got something that's working for you. Good luck. Let's keep in touch. I always want them to know that no matter what they tell me, I'm okay with that. I'm still their friend. I'm not going to, just drop up. I'm not just going to drop them, right? We don't want people to think that, right? So always leave that door open. Always have the last word in a nice way. And here's a bonus. Here's a number 11. And this doesn't really have to do with the Facebook conversations, but it's a tip I want you to have for, it could be a Facebook conversation. If you're talking with people like old high school mates, college mates, old coworkers, this question could come up. If you're out and about and you're at a soccer game, or you're, mixing and mingling at a school event or a business event, or just even, at a store. I mean, I've had Jen Horseman, who was giving me some examples of conversations she's been having just at stores. And where does that go? Here's a question. What do you say when people ask you, what do you do? That's something you need to be prepared for. And you may say, your first inclination is to say, I work for XYZ company, or I'm a nurse, or, I build houses, or whatever. That's fine, because that's what you do, right? That's your profession. But add this on to that. Add something like this on. But my passion is helping people get in shape and get healthy. Now that's a conversation starter, right? So you're, again, maybe you're sitting on the bleachers at a soccer practice and you start talking to another parent, and, inevitably one of the ways people get to know each other is by asking what you do, right? So yeah, well, I'm a nurse by trade, but my passion is really helping people get healthy and fit. Oh, well, that's amazing. And that, think about where that conversation could go, right? Because like I've said before, everybody that has a body needs to take care of their body. And chances are, probably 50%, I don't know, some percent of the people that you would say that to are going to say, wow, that's cool. I could use your help. Oh, well, really? Oh, well, how can I be of service? So think about that. You want to be prepared for that, because if you're like me, things like that don't just roll off my tongue. I get, blah. What do you do? Blah, blah. You don't want to say you're a Beachbody coach, because that's just a title. You want to say what you do. I help people get healthy and fit, and that's really my passion. So those are my 10 tips plus a bonus on conversating. And I promised you a role play. So Jen is going to be my role play partner. I could pick any of you to be my role play partner. But I guess I'm going to be the coach. And let me just start off this by saying, we're going to assume this is a Facebook conversation that we're having verbally. So whatever Jen says to me, I may think about it for just a minute. So just consider that I'm typing this on Facebook, right? So here's my conversation starter. And I'm going to start in with, I posted something on Facebook, and it was a fitness picture, and I'm going to do a conversation with all the people that liked and commented on this fitness picture. Let's just assume that's what it is, just to keep it easy. And so I'm sending Jen a message. I'm saying, hey, Jen, thanks so much for liking my picture about fat is not a feeling. I really appreciate your support. I always say that. Thanks for liking my picture. I really appreciate your support. Is there something that you are interested in regards to fitness? Do you ever feel that way yourself?
So I might respond with something like, sure, no problem. I'm happy to support. I feel that I can relate to a lot of your posts, and I find you very inspirational, period.
Thanks, Jen. That means a lot to me. That's really what I want to do, is help people, be inspired. Are you working on some fitness goals yourself right now?
Well, I've, been struggling with the last 15 pounds of pregnancy weight, and my son is now 9. So, it's always a struggle for me, and I'm always trying to work on it, but I just never seem to know what I'm doing wrong.
And I respond back with a LOL. I totally get where you're coming from. I hear that a lot, that pregnancy weight that just won't go away. And I actually work with a lot of women that are mothers, and myself, I've had 2 C-sections. So I understand that struggle. Have you ever heard of the 21-day fix?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Well, you said you don't have a lot of time, so could you apply 30 minutes a day to working out?
Yes, most days I already do.
Oh, you do? That's awesome. What do you do?
I go to the gym and I use the treadmill, and sometimes I can take a class if I have the time.
And how is that working for you?
Well, ...
Back to the beginning. 15 pounds.
Right.
And then I respond back with another emoticon. See, women, we use lots of emoticons. I don't know if guys do that or not, but I use lots of emoticons. So I'm like, I understand. Well, would you consider trying something like this that is guaranteed, if you do it, to give you results? Because it's a program that's put together designed to give you strength and conditioning and fat burning. So you're not just doing whatever you feel like doing. You're actually doing a professional expert program. It's like having your own personal trainer in your house.
So how would I do that, and how much would it cost?
Well, here is a blog piece I wrote that describes the program, so you can look at that when you have some time. But it's very simple. You would get the 21-day fix package, which is at a discounted price, and you would get your DVD set. So it's all on DVD. You would get your portion-controlled eating containers, which I'm telling you is a total game changer for what to eat. And you can still have wine and chocolate, emoticon. And you get a Shakeology shaker cup. You get 30 days of Shakeology, which, if you haven't heard about it, is absolutely densely nutritious, as well as it boosts your metabolism and curbs your craving. And who doesn't need that? And it boosts your energy. As a busy mom, I know you need that too. And I'm trying to think what else it comes with. Oh, blah, 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 whatever it comes with. And we would do this in an online group. I would work with you every single day. So again, it's like having your own personal trainer on Facebook. How does that sound?
You had me at boost metabolism.
Woohoo! Emoticon.
But how much did you say it cost?
Yes, well, it's right now, it costs about $4.33 a day. And so that includes one of your meals and your Shakeology. So the package comes to $160. Will that work for you?
Can I think about it?
Of course. Let me tell you that my group has 4 more spots in it, and it starts on March 21st. And the sale price goes through the end of this month, so you have a little bit of time, but definitely chat with your husband about it. Can I follow up with you tomorrow?
Sure.
Great. Well, I'm really excited. I think you're going to love this. And I'm going to end with something to go back to our relationship. So I'm going to ask her something about our kids. So I'm going to take it off the Beachbody talk, and I'm going to go back to whatever we talked about before in regards to our kids or something like that. So that's my off-the-cuff conversation. I can't believe I just had an off-the-cuff conversation. Does anybody have any other topics they want to throw at us role players? Like, this is like, what is it called? Second City, like where you do that improvisational stuff. Does anybody have anything that they want us to improv? You can type in the comments or you can tell us. No.
I had to give lots of objections because that's the typical situation. You're going to hear a lot about price and can you think about it and time, and they go to the gym and they already do something, so.
So if that conversation would have been when she said, well, I go to the gym right now, I have a membership, and I said, how's that working? And then we kind of got into the price. She might have then said, well, I think it sounds really awesome, but, I have this membership and I really feel like I need to use that. And I don't think my husband's going to let me, spend more money on something else. And so now it's kind of going down a path looking like a maybe a not now or a no or something. And so that's when I would, again, I wouldn't have too much of a different conversation. I might then go back and point out that, yeah, I understand totally, I know that you're frustrated with your results. And so that might be something to, kind of talk with your husband about, and this program is 30-day money back guarantee. So, if you get it and you don't use it, or for some reason you're not getting the results you want, you get your money back. But just think about what it's going to be like when you start losing that 15 pounds. Isn't that worth it? Then you could drop that gym membership.
Right.
So I might go somewhere like that. At the end of the day, she may still come back and say, well, again, she might even still say, because she doesn't want to say no, she might say, well, I'll talk to my husband about it. And then I'll still say, can I get back with you tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And she'll either say yes, just to get me off the message, maybe, I don't know. Or she'll say, if she's honest, she might say, well, actually, he's out of town until the weekend. So how about, we talk on Monday? And that kind of lets me know she's really kind of serious about this. She's not just saying what she thinks I want to hear. So, but regardless of if whatever, I'm going to follow up when she says it's time to follow up. And that's the thing that you guys miss. You leave the conversation open, and you don't ever want to leave the ball in their court. You want to be in control of the conversation. And to be in control of the conversation, that means you're in control of the next conversation. I think it's Eric Worre, isn't it, that says every interaction should have the intent of leading to another interaction. And that's why I say, I don't ever want to leave the door shut. I always want to leave it open. And if at all possible, I want to know, when is that next interaction going to happen? If I send somebody a biz op, I'm going to ask them, can you watch that tonight? Mm-hmm. If I send it to them at 9:00, maybe not. I might say, can you watch this, by tomorrow? And can I follow up with you tomorrow evening? And then I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow evening. And they may say, oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm like, oh, I totally understand. Things happen. Think you can watch it tonight? Okay, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow evening. And I follow up with them tomorrow evening. And then they don't respond to my message, right? Because they didn't watch it. And I'll let them go. I'll let them go until the next day. And then I'll say, hey, Jen, are you still there? Smiley face. And then they might respond back and say, yeah, I'm still here. Oh, great. Are you still wanting to chat about the business opportunity or the coaching or whatever? Yeah, I really do. I've just been so busy this week at work. So you guys know how that goes. But the thing about it is, in my opinion, my mantra is, I am going to outlast. I'm going to outlast. And that means I'm going to follow up until they do or die. And I don't mean that literally, right? We don't want that to happen. But you know what I mean. It means I'm going to keep following up with them until they tell me flat out no. And then, usually a no is a not now. And I'm going to do a little follow-up on my tracker that says, and I might even ask them, can I follow up with you maybe in 6 months? Maybe things will change. And they'll say yes, because they want you to end the conversation. And I'll put a follow-up for 6 months. You got to have a good tracker, right? You got to have a good tracker. So let's see what the comments are here.
Also, when someone tells me that they want to think about it, I obviously do very much what you do, Deb, as well, as far as, when can I circle back type of thing. But I say also, in the meantime, I'll send you over a video or two of the workout program or of the, presentation or whatever we're talking about. And I give them time to see a little bit more. Because if they're not too familiar with the 21-day fix, I find a really good, compelling video, or I send some of my own pictures privately, right, and let them keep that in the forefront. Because if they want to think about it, you're right. They definitely are interested. They just need, a little bit more of a push.
Yeah. Always, third-party sharing tools. When I was a new coach, that was the big thing. It was, on our little tracker we had, it was, how many times a day or how many people did you share with? And the share was with third-party tools, which that's the whole beauty of Beachbody. We don't have to be the experts. We have experts that are on third-party tools. And I think we forget about that sometimes because there are so many products now. There's so many fitness programs and nutritional products, and maybe we don't share all of these because we don't know that much about them. But with the third-party sharing tools, that's perfect. So, you know, have those video links like from coachingcodes.com or, you know, I have a blog, and I always try to write a blog piece that includes a review of my own personal use of the product. And so anytime anybody asks me about the 21-Day Fix, I can send them my blog. And it's got, you know, my own personal experience. It's got some videos. It's got some pictures. Enough said. I don't have to repeat the whole entire 21-Day Fix program every time somebody asks me about it. You know, Hardcore 22. I haven't done it yet, but there's videos. You know, once I do it, I'll have some of my own videos. But until then, I can send a video. Shakeology. I just had somebody ask me about Shakeology for her mom and cancer. Responding to the picture I posted today about my mom and I clinking glasses. And she asked if I could send her some information to share with her parents. And I sent her the Shakeology website and said, here, it's got all of the nutritional information and the flavors, and it costs, Shakeology is about $4 a day. So, you know, I don't normally send people to my website randomly, but for Shakeology, if somebody wants to know more about it, then I will send them there. For her particular situation, I figured they would want to have as much information as possible. And notice also when she asked about the price, when Jen asked, I gave her a per day price. I mean, you know, when you say $4 a meal, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, we spend $4 a meal probably every day. You can't go to McDonald's and hardly get a meal for less than $4. But if you say $130, you know, now people are like, oh my gosh, because, you know, if they went to McDonald's every day and spent $4, they wouldn't think anything of it. But if you said, oh, here's your monthly membership to McDonald's and it's $130, then they'd be like, oh my gosh. So you want to, you know, again, you ease people into these things, right? You don't just, you know, because think about you. You probably thought the same thing when you first saw Shakeology. You're like, oh my gosh. So, well, we are about out of time. So I don't see any more examples. Somebody asked about the Biz Op. That's kind of another call. We'll talk more about inviting to the Biz Op on another call. We have a lot of really great speakers lined up for you on team calls over the next several months. I mean, we've been out there networking and getting top coaches. We've got Nate Rosano is going to talk about Instagram. I've got Heather Dixon. She's in the Millionaire Club. Jamie Thompson, who's 15-star diamond, absolutely sweetest girl ever. I mean, we've got so many amazing coaches to share with you over the next several months. And of course, your own amazing Jen and others of you on this team that we might ask to help us out. So I hope you guys value these team calls and keep tuning in and keep working. Take advantage of what we're doing next week as something that you can use to generate excitement amongst your own clientele. Everybody that you're talking to about becoming a coach, it's a great way to share with them. It's like, hey, I wanted to make sure you saw this. Wouldn't this be so fun for us to do together? Especially if you're talking to friends or close friends or family that you're like, oh, this would be so fun to do together. Don't you want to do this with me? I mean, Gabriel Oma and Christina Martinez, they're the BFFs. And Gabriel signed up just so she could go to Summit with Christina. You know, and now they live across the street from each other. They build their businesses together. They're having a ball. I mean, wouldn't that be lovely? We have sisters that are doing the same thing. We have sisters and brothers. Patrick Ryleman and Amy Ryleman, they're both elite coaches. Just building this business together. It's just, think about that. Think about who you love most in the world and who would be so much fun to do this with. And that's who you should be inviting. So without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week, and we will talk to you later.
Thank you.